Were you surprised at the way it played out with the Rams, or what was?
Yeah, I was surprised. I got the phone call that I was coming here, and I was very surprised. I'm blessed for the opportunity, grateful. I'm ready to get started.
What about the injury, the leg that you have a brace on? How'd that happen? What's going on there?
It happened in the Chargers game, but I'm taking it day by day right now. Just following the rules of what the Eagles staff have to say. Just doing rehab, and I'll be back soon.
Willie, do you get tired of talking about your size?
Oh yeah, kinda. Yeah, it's I can't change it, and I'll do my best, and I'll do what I have to do to stay here.
What was the pre-draft process that you had with the Eagles?
I had a meeting with them. I wasn't sure if I was going to be here or not, but everything happened for a reason. I was in LA for a little bit. I got to experience some stuff out there, and I'll definitely be grateful for every opportunity.
But you knew you had some attention from the Eagles, that you knew that they were a team possibly that could sign you at post-draft.
Yes, I talked to them once or twice, but I never knew I'd be here. Not especially not after going to the Rams. I didn't think I'd be here that fast.
What did you know about Jeff Stoutland maybe prior to coming here? And just obviously the Eagles have a lot of all-pro offensive linemen. What did you know about the team, and how are you excited to work with him?
I would say he's one of the best to ever coach the offensive line in the NFL. He's coached legends. He's still coaching legends right now. You got Malata, Lane Johnson, Kelsey. You got Cam. There's a bunch of talent in the O-line room.
What was your first meeting with Stout like? What did he get across?
He's super funny, man. Just trying to get me involved, like just trying to learn the playbook, get involved with the guys, meet the team.
Well, size is often talked about as a detriment. How's it an asset or an advantage for you?
Yeah, I would say helping me get that leverage. I would say helping me always be lower than the person that's in front of me.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. He's small too. But yeah, I would say the leverage, and also my wrestling helped me as well. Just being in the right position and at the right time.
How did that help you? How did that? You were good in high school wrestling, right?
47-0. Come on.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'd perked up
State title.
I say wrestling. Yeah, it definitely helped me to get that dog mentality. To want to dominate every single play.
You played tackle, guard, center in college. Do you see yourself as a center guard with that flexibility, or?
Really, I can play both, but whatever the team needs, I'm willing to play whatever. I'll play fullback, whatever.
Would you? Well, do you think that's something that could be in your future?
Sure, man. If it is, it is. I'm ready to play it.
How did you feel the summer went with the Rams? And did you get the feeling they wanted to bring you back in the practice squad? Or did you have any sense of that?
I felt like they did, but I'm not really sure what happened. I thought I would stay over there, but things happen and things change, and I'm blessed to be an Eagle.
Aside from the mentality of wrestling, are there technical things that you use as an offensive lineman?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the underhook. When I'm trying to get under guys, I'll use the underhook.
What about the idea of being in an organization where Kelsey is sort of accessible and around all the time?
It's amazing, man. He's a legend. I look up to him. I used to watch his film all the time. People always say you're like a more unathletic Jason Kelsey, so it's kind of funny. I can't wait to meet him. He's a legend.
How are you similar to Jason?
We're both short. We both play center, and I feel like we both got to get out the people. I want to get out the people as well.
Do you feel like you've been underestimated a lot of your career?
Yes, I'll say yes. I have been definitely underestimated because it's like people see me and they think I'm just some like regular guy, but I feel like if I put the pads on, things can change.
I know it's early for you looking into this playbook, but how do you feel like you and your traits work along with what they're trying to accomplish?
I feel like I'll do some good things in this offense. I feel like I can pull, I can get out for screens, I can block wide zone, mid zone. I feel like I can block any scheme.
Do you feel like you're more of a center than a guard, or with either one you comfortable at?
I'm comfortable at any position, center, guard, fullback, D-line, whatever.
It's pretty uncommon for a team to claim someone who was waived injured. Do you interpret that as like the Eagles really wanted you? Is that the interpretation?
Yes, I guess you can say that. They got me. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just received a phone call, and I know I had to pack it up. So I didn't know what to expect, honestly.
What's it like being on the West Coast, the next day you're on the East Coast, and it's just, it's a business. Some guys get used to it, but you're a young guy.
Yeah.
How weird is it?
I'm tired, man. I can't even lie. I'm tired. I've been up all day.
How natural shotgun snaps, things like that for you? Because you played so much tackle and guard. Some guys have difficulty with it.
It's not hard at all. You just got to get back used to it. Just got to continue to snap the ball, and just try to get off the ball as fast as I can. That's really about it for me. I had some trouble snapping, like when I was in college, but other than that, it's natural.
What did you gain from Senior Bowl week, and do you feel like that kind of put you on the map for a lot of teams?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of teams didn't think I could anchor down on a bull rush or anchor down against people that were bigger than me, but I felt like I showed that I could.
You mentioned you're got a little bit of a nasty streak when you play.
Yeah.
Is it strictly from like wrestling, or is there anything else that maybe in the way you were raised, the way you grew up, that kind of gives you that edge?
For me, it's just I just want to dominate, man. I just want to have my hands on the defender every play. I just want to show my dominance. I know even though I'm a smaller player, I just want to show that I can be in this league.
Evaluating the summer that you had, and you take a step back and look at how you perform, where do you want to get better as an offensive lineman?
I want to get better in just my communication, just being able to recognize the coverages, being able to recognize the stunts, just being able to be an all around better player.
How long did you wrestle, and did you wrestle to get better at football?
I would say I wrestled. I almost didn't play football my junior year of high school. I was about to just stop playing football just to wrestle at one point.
What convinced you to stay playing?
So I met one of my coaches. I transferred to a different school. I transferred to Lakeland High School, and my old coach, Caleb Pickrell, he got me back into playing football. And ever since then, it's been just trying to reach the top.
Just said you should do it.
So I transferred schools, and I was going to just wrestle. Like I just wanted to wrestle because I just felt like wrestling was fun at the time. So I was like, why not just give it a shot and just stick to wrestling? And then I met him, and that all changed.
Did you get to know Dylan McMahon at all? He kind of did the opposite of what you did. You had training camp here last year and then ended up with the Rams.
Yeah, I talked to him. He was unfortunately he got hurt, so he really didn't play that much. But he's a good guy, great guy.
I don't know how much
about Kelsey at all, because he did meet Kelsey.
I never talked to him about Kelsey.
I don't know how much you pay attention to social media, but I guess you become kind of like a favorite among the scouting community. Is that something you're aware of?
No, I'm not really aware of it. What do they say?
They like your game.
It's all good.
Despite your size, and there's clips of you pancaking people, the Senior Bowl, preseason. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. That's awesome.
You're the favorite short king.
Shout out to my short kings out there. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to you.
What do you like about football? What do you like about football? What got you back there?
Just like the team aspect, being around your brothers. It's like another family. Learning the game. Learning about people. I would say just the relationships that it brings you. Like I'm at the Eagles organization. I can meet Kelsey at any time. I'm playing with some legends. I'm playing with Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. It's just like amazing the relationships that you can get from this sport.
So I was talking to Joe Douglas. Speaking of those relationships out on the practice field, what was that encounter like?
Could you say that one more
Joe
time?
Douglas was talking to you out on the practice field. Did he give you any quick hints about what the Eagles are like?
Oh yeah, man. We were just talking some football. Just trying to learn the playbook as fast as I can.
Were you on the same flight as Britton
Last
Covey?
question.
No, I wasn't. I saw him this morning. I was like, Gubby, what's up, man? I didn't expect to see him.
Can you take us through what cut day was like for you and how you got through that day?
It was a little bit stressful. For everybody it was stressful, but for me, I felt like I worked really hard, this past season, and then coming into the off season and then training camp. So I felt confident that I did enough to be here. But at the same time, it's stressful, and you see a lot of guys that you build relationships with that you see one day and then they're gone the next day, and you might never see them again. So there's a lot of emotions that goes into it. I'm happy to be here, but I feel for some of the guys who aren't here right now.
What did Howie and Nick communicate to you in this?
They didn't say anything. They just. I'm glad they didn't say anything to me the past few days. They just we met this morning as a team, and he basically told everybody our roles, and I earned my role on the team. I did enough over the OTAs and then through training camp to get a role on this team, and I'm grateful to be here.
What is your role?
Challenging was last year for you?
It was challenging, but at the same time, like I said, man, I was happy to be here and happy to do everything that I could do. Happy to contribute in every single way that I could.
What is your role?
Just to go out there and spell some of the guys in the starting group whenever they might need a breather, kind of like what Mo came in last year and was doing and what Book did last year. That's really where I am right now, just I'm growing in my role. I'm accepting it. I'm going to try to star in it, and then every day try to get better at it and increase that role.
Will part of that be backing up Jordan in the nose?
It'll be backing up everybody. I can play every position.
Byron, what did you learn last season being in the building?
I learned a lot. I learned how a Super Bowl team looks. It was amazing to come in every day and see the way that people like Lane, Jalen Carter, Jordan, AJ, Smitty, Saquon, all of those guys, just to see the way that they work day in and day out, and to see the way that the coaches are also, organized and on top of every single small thing. It taught me a lot, and it taught me how to prepare even more so for this upcoming year.
We were talking to Gabe yesterday. He had mentioned how close you two have gotten. What does it mean for both of you to make the 53?
Man, it means a lot, man. Gabe is somebody who, from when I got here, me and him kind of connected. And he and I just, have grown together over the past year. And we've done so many things, man. I've been through so much adversity. My dad passed over the off season, and I was up here by myself. And he was the only person who I felt comfortable going to and being with him and crying on his shoulder. And that's something that I feel like a lot of guys might struggle with, but he and I have that friendship to the point to where we can connect with each other on a deeper level than a lot of guys might just think as teammates. I would say he's a brother to me, and it goes past football.
Why do you think you guys were able to get so close?
I think we were kind of in the same boat last year. I came in, I was on the 53, but I was doing all scout team stuff with a little bit of scattered routes here and there. And so, we were just able to connect because we were doing the scout team stuff, but when everybody else left, he and I would stay back. We were working with a guy we call Pat, who's the developmental guy, and he worked with us the entire offseason, every single day. And we've just grown close because of the work that we've put in.
I'm sorry to hear about your father.
Thank you.
When was that, and how was that weight on you?
It was late March. I want to say March 30th. I was actually home the day before and saw him, but it was hard. It was hard. I only went home for a week because this is my job and this is what I love doing. And I know if he was here, he would have told me, all right, you can cry a little bit, but go ahead and go back to work, because that's the kind of man he was, and that's kind of what I try to carry every single day. Just be the same person every single day, no matter what happened yesterday.
Have you been sick?
Have I been sick?
Had your father?
No, it was very sudden. It was very abrupt.
Does that make these past 48 hours any more significant to you?
It does. I know that he's watching down on me, but the past year's been a difficult year. There's been a lot of stuff that people might not know that is going on, man, but for me to just persist through it all and remain the same person and work every single day, that's the kind of man I want to be. And when I have kids eventually, that's what I want them to be, and that's the example I want to be for anybody who's watching me. So it's been tough, man, but the past 48 hours, it's all been worth it.
You dealt with a groin injury earlier in camp. When you're on the bubble, sometimes that injuries can be really challenging and make things more difficult to make the initial injury. How did you kind of stay strong through that experience and work yourself back in?
I have a strong faith, a very strong faith, and I don't ever question anything that happens. I know everything happens for a reason, and so when it happened, it was a thing that did bother me. But at the end of the day, I knew that I had time to work back, and I had time to continue to show the coaches what I was able to do. And so they trusted me enough, even though I did miss a week in time and I missed the first preseason game. They saw enough within me to say that, okay, we trust him to go out here whenever we kick the ball off. At 8:20 in the link, they trust me to be out there, and so that means a lot.
When you mentioned your developmental over the offseason, what did you feel like you picked up for your game this year?
A lot more consistency. A lot more consistency. Watching a lot of other guys, how the best defensive linemen in the league play, seeing how they use their hands, thinking about how I use my core on impact when I'm striking, when I get a double team, anything like that. Hand usage is a big thing that we worked on and getting a lot stronger.
You mentioned Jalen Carter, obviously. What have you seen just from watching him develop from last year to this year, and what kind of season do you think he could have?
I think he's gonna have a special season. He's a different type of guy. He has attributes that you can't teach. The way he can bend, the way he can move, his ability to play every single play when it comes to a game. That's something that 99% of defensive linemen in the league can't do, but he can go out there and do it consistently. So he's gonna have a great year.
You mentioned Pat McDowell. How much did he help you in that development?
He helped tremendously. He was the guy who I did most of my off-season work with. Him, Gabe, Ty Robinson. We came in and we worked every single day. We worked hard every single day, and he's the one who really got me into the core stuff. Making sure your core is strong enough so when you get bumped, you can brace and you don't move. Everything starts from your core, and so that's what he's really taught me.
After the situation last year, the Eagles brought you in right away. They kept you on the roster. They designated you to return. Did you interpret that as this is a team that believed in you all the way through?
Yeah, of course. I came in and they let me know immediately that they believe in me, and that's something that I wanted to hear when I got here. They let me know immediately, look, we believe in you. We know things might not have worked out in Vegas, but that's the past. You have a fresh start to leave an impression on us. What they say doesn't matter, but what you do here is what matters. And it's the same thing with this year. Whatever I did last year, that doesn't matter. That team's gone. Me from last year is gone. I got to prove myself every single day, and that's what I plan on doing.
You mentioned earning the trust of the coaches during training camp. What do you think you specifically did that earned that trust?
Just being the same person every single day. I'm confident in my craft. Coach Hurt has helped me grow a lot. And being the same person every day, being consistent every single day, not going too far up when I have a good day, not going too far down when I might have a bad day. So being consistent is, a thing that I think helped me earn that trust.
Yeah. So how was the experience over the weekend, and just how's the news been?
Weekend, I just spent it with family, and the news was good. We were pretty happy, pretty excited.
Being a part of joining in July, how much more do you feel like you can advance in this, and how quickly?
I think I'm learning more every day, playing for you every day in this defense. It's never a finished product. I'm just trying to go to work every day and get better.
What do you think you showed this summer?
Just the tools I have as a player. How I can contribute to this defense. Like I said before, I'm a pass rusher. I play the run pretty good, and I just bring a physicality to the defense. So I think that's what I showed. So I tried to at least.
That depth spot requires special teams work, right? Is that something that you'd like to do? I know it's something you've done a bit in the past.
Yeah, I played special teams last year, and in a lot of the years I've been in the league. I'm willing to do whatever the team asks me and needs me to do.
What did Howie and Nick communicate to you in this process?
They would just tell me to, come to work every day and let the result be the result, and that's what I did. I didn't look too far ahead. I didn't look back. I came to work every day and tried to get better.
When you look at this defense, do you think it accentuates your strengths?
100%. This defense allows me to drop. It allows me to rush. It allows me to play the run physically. So yeah, that's what I do. So yeah, I like it. It accentuates what I do very well.
Coming late, how much did that kind of hamstring you, and how much did you have to really work to make up for not being here in the spring?
Coming late, you definitely don't have as much time, just to get everything like down pat how you would want to. But it's nothing to study a little bit extra, come out a little earlier, stay a little extra after practice, and just try to get comfortable in what you're doing. It's a part of being a pro.
As a rusher, how do you want to keep evolving as a pass rusher?
Oh yeah, just right now I'm just learning the guys that I'm rushing with, because pass rushing, a lot of people think it's a one man's game, but it's a whole front game. When you learn the people you're rushing with, it allows you to rush freer, better, and just react faster to things. So that's what I'm doing right now.
You mentioned the dropping aspect of it. What makes you comfortable? A lot of guys struggle with that are pass rushers.
I have some outside linebacker history. In college, I came out as outside linebacker. For the Rams, for the first 3 to 4 years, I played outside linebacker before I ultimately moved to DN. So I have some experience there.
You line up in a 4-point stance a lot. Most of the other guys here don't, because you have to drop. How has Wash instructed you on that and allowed you to keep doing that despite those obstacles?
I think that's more schematic things, and we don't really talk about those things. But I think I'm comfortable 4-point or 2-point. Whatever's asked of me is what I'll do.
You spent the summer, seeing Nolan and Jalix and everything. What do you think about their potential this year? What do you see from those guys?
Man, I think the sky's the limit for those guys. Those guys are both. I call them freak of natures, because guys that big aren't supposed to be able to run that fast and be that bendy and twitchy. The sky's the limit. They're just going to keep learning how to use their tools, and I think there's going to be a great year for both of them.
It seems you, Josh, and Aziz are all in a similar situation. Veterans here as kind of like the next wave up among the edge rushers. How do you? I guess what's the connection between the three of you?
We've all watched each other around the league for a couple of years. We're all from Nigerian descent. So we all just have that connection. I would say we all enjoy watching each other rush. We all have different styles, so it's just bouncing things off of each other, learning from each other, and just trying to be the best that we can be in our role.
Is that a point of conversation, your ancestry?
I guess it has been, just a little bit, but we don't focus too much on it.
What area of your game do you think you need to improve on the most personally?
Right now, I would just say just playing with full confidence in my understanding of the scheme.
When you talk about learning how to rush next to the guys on the line, how do you do that other than reps? Is there another way to stimulate that?
Besides the reps, there's film. Just knowing what guys like to do, knowing where guys like to end up, and just replacing and not being where guys want to be. It's just like kickoff coverage. Everybody has somewhere to be, and you just got to be there so that we can keep the guy in the cage.
How much do guys like Nolan and J-Wicks come to you and Aziz and Josh for advice or vice versa?
I think every day, and I think I come to them every day as well. You never are too old to stop learning, and those guys they're definitely sponges, and they're willing to take any info that or nuggets that I have for them as I am to them.
What made you change your number?
45 was what I wore the first 5 years that I played. I didn't get to wear it in Cleveland because it was retired, so I wore 54. I just sort of flipped it, but 45 became available, so I decided maybe it was a little full circle to go back to it.
I'm not sure if this is something that you even know about or it's decided by you, but like you're listed as a DN. You play outside linebacker. I think at one point they changed you to outside linebacker. Now I look back on the roster, you're a DN. Is that just a union thing where you have to, or is there some sort of difference?
I haven't even looked at that thing. So
yeah,
whatever they got me listed as long as I'm here at the 53, then I'm happy.
You said you're never too old to learn. You've been in a lot of spots. What is it that you're learning here that you can add to your game, and like what is it about the system that you feel like you can continue to learn?
Just where I can take my chances in this defense, and just where I can be more aggressive, and when I shouldn't be aggressive, just things like that nature.
The summer went pretty well. Pretty much took first team reps the entire time. How do you think it went for you?
Yeah, I think it went well. I think I got the chance to really improve throughout the summer and get comfortable. I think I did a good job of doing it.
What's your level of confidence like going into the opener?
Very confident. I'm really confident in the guys we have in that room. Plan on leaning on those guys. Just making sure we communicate well, we're on the same page, and I think everything will go well.
Did you approach this summer with a different mentality than maybe last summer when you were competing for the job?
No, I don't think. I think everybody goes into the summer with the same mentality, trying to make the team, then trying to earn a role, then trying to earn a starting spot, and that I think regardless of the situation, that never changes.
Have you had a chance to meet Willie Lampkin at all yet?
Yeah, he was in Venus today, so just introduce myself, and that's
you
about
look
it.
at him, he says like he doesn't, everybody talks about his size.
Yeah.
What do you see when you look at him?
Yeah, he's a wide dude. He's short, but he's a pretty big dude. I don't know that much information on him, but it looks like he played football.
We've never been in the locker room yet, but I assume you're in the right guard locker. Is that significant for you, given kind of the way last year went?
Yeah, it's cool. Like all those guys are, starting five all in that little section of the locker room, so it's cool. Just plan on staying in there. So
when you think back to the way things went last year, how do you think you handled all that? And were you proud of the way you handled it?
I think I could have handled it better. I think when you don't achieve what you want to achieve, you could be disappointed or whatever the case is. But just gotta move on fast, focus on what you gotta accomplish, what the team's trying to accomplish, and then go from there.
So do you think you kind of lingered on it a little bit? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think I lingered on it, but it was disappointing, so it wasn't like something I was really excited about. So just trying to move on from that and then focus on what the new role was and then go from there.
We spoke to Stout very early in camp, and he said on that day, he said it was a very big day for you. I'm sure a lot of that isn't relayed to you, and I'm sure at some point he probably didn't tell you you won the job. But did you get a sense early in camp that it was basically your job?
I was really just focused on putting my best foot forward each and every day. I wasn't really concerned on when I guess I had won the job or whatever the case is, but I was just trying to focus on the next day and trying to get better.
Do you know what that moment was? He talked to us about a week into camp, and he said that it was a big day for you. It seems like things really smoothed out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what that was, or what clicked in, or anything like that?
Yeah, I think I'd come off like not my best day at camp. I think it was a little early in camp, and then I remember in meetings the day before just kind of telling me just kind of what needs to be worked on, and then the next and then the next day in meetings we kind of talked about it and kind of trying to continue on what those things were, and then going from there.
So you went out the next day and did what he asked of you guys, essentially.
Well, I mean, it's really things that that you need to do in order to play guard like at a high level in this league. I mean, it wasn't like things that were very like complicated. I think it was things that I was capable of doing, but I just needed to do on a more consistent basis.
In these past 2 years, you've had to play guard and tackle, right? And obviously your background was in tackle. Was there ever a point where you thought maybe I'm not a guard? And at what point did you say, all right, I'm definitely a guard?
Yeah, because I mean, I never played guard in college, so it was new at first going in there. It just felt like everything was a little more constricted because when you play tackle, you don't have nobody to your right or your left or whatever the case is, and you just feel like you're more playing one-on-one, I guess. So I guess that was kind of like one of the main things that I had to kind of re-figure out, I guess, as far as playing online. But I feel more than comfortable playing guard. Now I think it didn't happen right away as I envisioned it to happen.
Are there any things did you feel like you were the right? Like at what point did you feel like, all right, I'm a guard?
I'm not really sure. I think it just happens with reps and just playing that position for a while, and then after a certain amount of time, you start to feel comfortable there.
Are there things about guard that you like that maybe you didn't know that you would until you played there?
Yeah, I feel like the main thing is that everything is kind of just happens faster. I think I like that a little more. Just as far as not having to be as patient, where especially the way that our guys play tackle here, they got to be real patient with their hands and with their sets and things like that. So I like the fact that everything happens a little faster, the guys are a little closer to you. So those are the things that I like about it.
How do you think he did versus JC when he finally returned?
I think it was like a good back and forth. JC is like one of the best defensive linemen in our league for sure. So I mean, it's not going to be easy going against him. It's going to be a challenge, and so it's against not only him but all our guys. I think we got a really, really, really good and deep defensive line room, and so just every day, just trying to put your best foot forward, knowing that it's not going to be perfect, and then just responding.
Did you prove something to yourself when you were able to match him?
I don't think I proved anything to myself necessarily. I think maybe just proving that I could I guess do it on a more consistent basis. I never thought that I couldn't do it because I think if you don't think you could do it at all, then you probably shouldn't be here. But just doing it on a more consistent basis.
What was your reaction to seeing Landon back on the practice field just a couple weeks after knee surgery?
Yeah, it was pretty cool because it was kind of scary when. Oh, sorry about that. When he got hurt, it was pretty scary, and so just seeing him, the next few days after that, seeing that he was in good, high spirits, and knowing that eventually he was going to come back, and then seeing him back out there was pretty encouraging.
It sounds like you learned how to manage disappointment and turn that into something constructive, something motivation. Like, what helped you most in learning how to manage that?
I think knowing that it's not like you can't change it. It's in the past. There's no good in dwelling on the past, whether it's good things or bad things. So I think just moving on and focusing on things that you can work on.
We're trying to figure out the best way to frame this question, so I'll just be direct. You have 4 guys on the offensive line who are all pro caliber players, the highest paid players in the league in their positions. And then you, what's it like being the 5th guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I feel like you don't really want to disappoint those guys in that room just because like what they've done. I mean, I've been here for 2 years. Like I've seen it. I've seen how well they could play, and it's not like you want to get in there and not mess it up, but it's like you could really like you want to be the guy that they can count on. Just because you know that if you're on the same page and you're executing, then everything's gonna be all right.
How
So.
much different or easier do you think it will be to be a starter, knowing you're going into a game starting versus I might get in, I might.
So say that again.
How much different will it be, or easier maybe, knowing that you're going to start on game day rather than being unsure if you're going to get in due to an injury or something like that?
Yeah, I think the preparation stays the same. I think Stout harps on, even if you're not starting, you got to prepare like you're the starter. And so I think that stays the same. I don't think that'll change. I think, sometimes, especially when you get like later in the year and it's cold, you got to go in like second or third quarter, you're cold, like you haven't played the whole game. So it's kind of, you got to warm up kind of, those first few plays. But, other than that, it's the same thing.
Whenever we've talked to Lane this summer, he's been very complimentary of your development as a player. Is that the same behind the scenes? Is he constantly propping you up like that?
Yeah, I think Lane does a good job of communicating. So he, like, whatever he sees and whatever he thinks that I do well and like what he thinks I could do better, he'll tell me, and I really appreciate that. And so coming from somebody like that, you're gonna listen. Yeah, whenever Lane whenever Lane gives me feedback, I'm all ears.
How does Saquon go about building his relationships with the offensive linemen and making sure you guys are both on the same page?
Yeah, I think Saquon does a good job of communicating with everybody. I mean, regardless of who it is on the team, he'll talk to whatever, if it's just about nothing or if it's about something important. I think he does a great job of telling us how he wants us to, set up the blocks and things like that. Whenever, like, for instance, like if we're installing like a new play, just kind of the timing. I know Cam does a lot of like the pulls, when, our little pool scheme or whatever. So just them timing up, them matching up, because it's gonna set Cam's block up, so he could go and make a play. So I think just having that good communication between the running back and O-line, especially with protections as well, is really important.
When you have somebody like Kenyon Green on the roster, someone trying to find his way in the NFL, is that somebody with your experience you can talk to?
Yeah, for sure. Kenyon, he was on another team, and he's done it. He's played in this league. I think just bouncing ideas off of each other, what he does well, what I do well, maybe things that we could both improve on, I think is really good as far as trying to get us to both improve.